we're going to look at multiplying matrices and how we can rotate and reflect images using multiplication of matrices in lesson 105. So first I want to talk about how do we multiply these. So we have a 2-column matrix and a 2-row, or however you want to look at it, 3-column matrix. When we are multiplying, what we are going to do is basically take the x and call it the x value, and then just put that over it to give it a term. We're going to take the x, and I'm going to create a new matrix over here. I'm going to multiply the 5 times the 0. Okay, I'm going to multiply it by the first one in the row. And I'm going to add that to the two y's being multiplied by each other. And that is going to give me my first number in the matrix when I solve for them. So 0 plus -8 would be -8. So that's my first number. Then we keep moving across. So now I'm going to take the x and the 5. So now I'm in this slot right here. I'm going to multiply the 5 times the -3 and add it to the -2 times 0. So when I add those together, 0 plus -15, that's a -15. And my last one in this for 5 -2 is 5 times 2 and -2 times 4, or plus -2 times 4. And hopefully you see the pattern going on here. So -2 times positive 4 is a -8. What is that from? Did I just not erase that? Positive. I guess I forgot to. Oh, okay. I don't know what I was doing. Okay, 5 times 2, that's that. My bad. Got confused with all the numbers. 5 times 2, that's 10, plus -8, that's positive 2. So 10 minus 8, 2. My bad. Sorry for the confusion. So now we just did this row in a sense. Now we're moving on to row 2. So 0 times 0 plus 2 times 4. So hopefully by now you see the pattern, and I'm just going to start kind of doing these. I'm going to start multiplying these mentally. So 0 times 3, I know that's 0. 2 times 0, that's 0. So 0 plus 0, 0. 0 times 2, 0 plus 2 times 4, positive 8. 808. Now we've done the second row. So now I look at my bottom row. 3 times 4, that's 12. Or sorry, 3 times 0, that's 0. Plus 4, that'd be a 4. 3 times -3 is -9. Plus 0 is -9. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 times 4, that would be 10. So the bottom ends up being 4, -9, 10. So this would be my new matrix. That is how you multiply matrices. So now, if it talks about reflecting a triangle or a square or whatever other image, let's look at example 2. We're going to look at one of those examples. It says we have triangle JKL and it gives us the coordinates, and it wants us to reflect across the y-axis or x-axis. Reflect across x-axis. Now if you look in the book on page 681, it shows you the reflection matrix for reflecting over the x-axis. It is 1, 0, 0, -1. That is my reflection matrix across the x-axis. If you want to see the one for reflection across the y-axis, that would be -1, 0, 0, +1. It just switches there. On the next page, 682, it gives the reflection matrix for, or the rotation matrix for a 90-degree rotation, 180-degree, 270-degree, yada, yada, yada. So it gives all those formulas in the book. So now let's just put one into practice. So we want to reflect this triangle. Okay, if I draw it out, okay, -3, 4 is J, 2, 4 is K, 2, 1 is L. So here's our triangle, and we want to reflect it across the x-axis. So we are going to put these. So I'm going to take my reflection across the x-axis matrix. We're going to write it down here of 1, 0, 0, -1. And we are going to have to multiply that by all of these. So I'm going to rewrite these in x on top, y on bottom form for matrix. So there's J, K, and L. So what I'm going to need to do is multiply the 1 times the -3. So I'm going to put my new matrix over here. 1 times -3. And I'm going to multiply the 0 and the 4. So I'm multiplying these two times these two and adding them together. So plus 0 times 4. So 0 plus -3, that's -3 for my top spot. Okay. Then I'm going to move multiplying these to the second row. So 1 times 2 is 2. 0 times 4 is 0. So that would be a 2. 1 times 2 is 2. That's obviously 0. So this is also 2. You know, obviously you can catch on to the pattern. Then we do the bottom. Okay, 0 times -3. I'll write just the first one out. 0 times -3 plus -1 times 4. So 0 times -3 plus -1 times 4 would end up giving me -4 plus 0, -4. 0 times 2 is 0, that's -4. 0 times 2 is 0, -1. So my new coordinates for the image is -3, -4, 2, -4, and 2, -1. And you can see that clearly reflects across the x-axis. So you're kind of just plugging in these formulas, multiply by the matrix, and solve. And that's how you do lesson 105.